Hey, Rewired fam. Hope you are doing well. I want to talk to you guys about our up and coming challenge that I'm really excited about. So, if that interests you in participating in our New Year's challenge, which we're calling the Reset, dial on in. It's 30 days. It's free. It's going to help you get off to your best foot for the year. And it's honestly, I think it's good for a lot of different levels of where you're at with building some really good habits for your fit lifestyle. So if this is something that interests you, listen on in. I'm going to give you some details right here in this video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So this year's challenge, a couple key things. It's free. It's about 30 days, and I'll explain the about part here in a second. It does not require social media. It's going to focus on building very simple, repeatable, sustainable habits for your nutrition, your training, and your recovery. Okay, so that's a big one. Nutrition, training, and recovery will kind of be the three main pillars of it. And other than that, it's called the Reset, and it's geared to help you do that going into this year. I understand that. Look, man, I've done this for 17 years, okay? I understand that this is a time of year where a lot of people are a little more motivated, want to take on a little more, decisive challenge and build some new habits and be part of something that gets them off to the best foot. And I think that's great. Let's capitalize on that. This is not a get skinny challenge. This is not a starve yourself challenge. This is not 12 months long. This is simply something that is built to help get you very, very intentional, help build some really good habits, and to get you on a path where you can be consistent and sustainable and move forward into the year, allowing you to reset, saying like, okay, 2020 was kind of stressful, or the gym wasn't open. I didn't get to work out as much as I wanted to at home. Maybe, you had too many Christmas cookies over the holidays, or, you had too many beers, or you haven't moved enough, or you haven't slept well lately, or something's off, and you're like, hey, I've built some good habits. I'm getting there, but I want to reset a little bit and move forward in a much stronger way in 2021. That's the thought behind this challenge. So it's one of the reasons why it's simple. It's one of the reasons why it's short. But it's also one of the reasons why I think it's going to be really, really practically helpful for a lot of people. So here's what it's going to look like. You can start as early as Tuesday the 5th. If you can't make it into class that day, that is okay. But there will be packets available. It'll basically be a single sheet. It'll kind of feel like a bingo card with some extra questions on it. So if you're part of last year's challenge, the sheets will look very, very similar. They will be available in hard copy, like paper versions, for you at the start of each week. Okay. If you aren't able to make it in that day, you're going to be able to get them sent to you via text message as well, which I'm super excited about. And each week you got a new card. So we basically go through 4 of those to get us through that first week of February. As well, there are things on that sheet that revolve around nutrition, training, and recovery. And those 3 kind of pillars, you could focus on all 3, which would be my encouragement. And for others, if they just want to focus on one of them or 2 of them or all 3 of them, you're going to have the option to kind of pick and choose which ones you want to set goals for the week. So for example, it'll look like this. On the nutrition one, on week 1, it's going to be super basic stuff like setting your hydration goal for the week. For everybody that's participating, you're going to have to come up with in week 1, how many ounces of water are you going to commit to each day? Okay. And for that, you pick your number. There'll be a coach's tip in there of like, here's the suggested percentage that it should be based on your body weight. You figure out, okay, I can probably do that. Or you realize you're that type of person that drinks like 20 ounces of water a day for some reason and is still alive, and this is going to be a really hard habit for you to build. You might need to set your goal a little smaller, so it allows you to create your own. And for the person that's like, I'm a fish, I have no problem getting in enough water. I drink a gallon a day. I'm good to go. That's going to be a really easy one for you to complete. And for others, it might be a difficult one. How you're going to score yourself is at the end of each week, you're basically going to look at your goal and give it a 1, a 2, or a 3. I've kind of implemented this lately in this last year, just with some mentorship roles and with our own staff of how we score things. And I love 1, 2, 3 systems. 1, it wasn't good enough. 2, it was adequate. 3, it was optimal, aka you crushed it, good job, and you're ready to take on more. Okay. So for example, for water, if you look at the week and you're like, all right, most days I kind of got there, but like there's one day I was like not even close, and another day that I was like only halfway there. Like that's probably a 1. Like you really didn't do it. You probably need to stay there for the next week and try and accomplish it again. Okay. A 2 would be like, yeah, I got there every day, but like it was a freaking struggle, and like I had to force myself and remind myself, and like one night I had to drink water way too late, and it like made me pee at night, and blah 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 blah. That's probably a 2. Like you got it, but like it wasn't flawless. 3's like, oh yeah, dude, I used to struggle with this, but I don't. I got it in early. I got it on time. I never felt dehydrated. That was great. I'm really loving that. Let's move on and take on the next challenge next week. That's a 3. Okay. We'll do that for each of those categories. Each week, there'll be a few questions related to that under nutrition. And then there'll be a few for training. Then there'll be a few for recovery. And some of them, I personally write in there and you have to answer. And then on each one, there's also an opportunity for you to write some of your own custom goals under those categories. And each week you go through, you score yourself a 1, 2, or 3. You check off your bingo boxes as you go. And then you do not have to turn that sheet in. You just keep it. It was for your own accountability. You'll get a next one on the next week. Okay. That's essentially what it'll feel like. That's a bit of a limited view, but that's the general description. The big goal for this is we're going to do it for 30 days. You can start as soon as the 5th. I would say start at least some point by next week once you're ready. There is not a strict diet that comes with this, but there will be guidelines to help you come up with your own nutrition plan. There is not a strict training protocol, but there will be guidelines for you to come up with your own training protocol of each week, set your goal. How many days are you going to work out this week? Are you doing any extra outside sessions from the gym? Are you just going to classes this week? What's your goal for those workouts? Things like that. To recovery goals each week of, what's your goal for sleeping each night? How much time are you going to spend doing some active recovery? But essentially looking at it where you're going to start crafting these habits. They're going to build really slowly, but repeatedly each week. And across the course of 30 days, that little reset and that little opportunity to be more intentional is going to get you off on a really good foot for the year. That's the goal. It's not a 9-month challenge. Okay. It's not the biggest loser. It doesn't require needing to travel anywhere to go get measurements. Although if you want to do that, cool, go do it at the NutriShop. It doesn't require social media, which I think is awesome. I'd love to not have us be able to use that as much as we need to. It's just going to require text messages and hard copy papers. So it's free. At the end of it, there'll be a little thing that you fill out at the end of kind of a recap / testimonial of like, what did you really take away from this challenge? What do you want to work on next? Is there anything your coaches should know that could help you moving forward? Stuff like that. Anybody that fills out one of those testimonials and turns them in at the end, okay, which will be that like end of the first week of February, you're going to get entered to win a $100 gift card to a local small business of your choice. Okay. And we will pick one male and one female that get to win those. So everybody's got the same chance. We're just going to draw it out of a hat for one guy and one gal, and a $100 gift card to each of those 2 lucky individuals to a local small business of his or her choice. So that's the basic rundown. I'm excited for it. I'm going to participate in it as well. I think it's going to be a great way to get us off on the right foot. I'm super excited the gym is reopened. Let's partner that with just a little extra accountability of each week going over a little bit of paperwork and some boxes, making sure that we're being really intentional with our training, with our nutrition, and with our recovery. So if that sounds interesting to you, look for those papers. They'll be waiting for you when you come to the gym on your first day. Love you guys. Have a good night.